And it's Saturday morning, and we're looking at apples today. And by the way, how refreshing is it to get up and do a Saturday morning um, critique and have 8 images? I mean, the last couple of weeks we've been having two. So thank
Nice.
you. Thanks, guys, for showing up. And
We don't see your screen yet, John.
oh, sorry. Thank you. And where we go.
You have 8, we have 0.
Yep. You should have 8 now.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Good. 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 All right. Well, fantastic, guys. This is great. I love this. All right, so let's get started here. Let's get started with Anders, and Anders is currently at a another workshop. Um,
Yeah,
wow, uh, Anders, this, my friend, is a beautiful photograph of apples getting more and more um, luscious with your light. That's the only word I can use for it. It's just absolutely stunning, luscious light. Um, I like the fact that we have the lit side of the apples against the dark background here. And as we go over to the shadow side, which isn't too much of a shadow because we definitely have a fill over here. And I love that little line down the candlestick. That's very cool. The background starts to drop off. We have a little bit of light on the background there, which appears to me to be coming from the candle. Probably not, because the candle is not nearly as bright as whatever else we're using here, but it still has that nice feel to it. Um, very nice. Very strong composition. I like this little placement of things. The apple core being kind of the hero in the shot. Um, what would I have done differently? Not sure I would have done anything differently on this. I would love to see, Anders, um, what this would have looked like without the fill card. Just the light from this side of the window, or maybe less fill. I'm not saying that it would be better. So don't go there. I'm just saying I would love to see what that would have looked like to really let that light fall off here and then get picked up a little bit
Okay.
by the background. What's that?
Then what can I ask the question then? Wouldn't that be confusing if you actually see a light source, the candle, and not have light on that side? Or are you just saying less on that side?
Light on the back of this backdrop.
No, you just said drop out the reflector on the right side.
Uh huh. Yeah, but
And
that's not what's lighting the background up, though.
sorry, you're referring to the background.
Right. Yeah, yeah. The background is this light, this bigger light. It looks like he's flagged it off here because it breaks here. No, I'd very much like the background getting lighter on this side. The taking the reflector out would have eliminated this. You see how brighter it is here on this side of this?
Because that's closer to the reflector than the apples.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, even the apples are picking up that reflector. Really, or I'm not even. It may be even another light source. So what I'm saying is just one highlight and let the apples fall off. Let the candle be lit on one side with that box. More of a single light source than a dual. And again, not because I think it would be better, only because I would like to see it. You know, maybe it
Just
would
to see
be.
what it looked like.
Yep, maybe it would be better. Maybe it wouldn't be better. Doesn't really matter. One other last little stylistic thing, I probably would have turned this apple so we didn't see the bottom of it and instead saw the stem. So just that's just a little stylistic thing that can be a challenge. Okay, so this one now, see, I have to. That's this new WordPress. Thank you for changing it up. That's really nice, guys. Um, is Flora? Hi, Flora. How are you?
Have been better, but I'm fine, thanks. You?
Same. I like this I love these things, by the way. These little apple cores. Oh, I love them. It's the best way in the world to eat an apple. um, and I love this that you left a little round thing sticking right here. How did you light this?
It is natural light, and I have this whiteboard right against the window. It's not exactly direct light in a way. The sun is not against the window, but it's a very, very big window, so it catches a lot of light anyway. And
Uh-huh.
we have short days now in Sweden. Around 3 o'clock it's dark, so it's around 11 o'clock in the morning where we have the best light, and it comes from the top of the tool. And I guess you can see the reflection of the front of the window on the bottom right of the little green tool.
Yep.
It's absolutely natural light.
And we've got a fill card at the base, right?
Yeah,
Yep. And that's what
exactly.
you can see that fill card in operation because down the side of the little apple core thing, we start to get a little bit darker shadow because it's falling away from the light. And then as we get a little bit
Mm,
more to the bottom, the shadow lightens up. And
mm,
that's how we know there's something else coming down here. Um,
mm.
and the apple doesn't now is this apple
It is.
photoshopped in?
It, yeah, it's a composite. If you notice, there's two different colors on the background, and that's a choice I made because it's three different pictures. One is taken when it is just a green tool, and one is the cat. And then I took a third one, which I actually didn't use, if not for the background, the white background. So
Uh-huh.
I have, because you don't see any shadow on the apple, and you should see, but I cannot have it because I just, how can I say, I cut the apple with a little tool, and then I removed it, and I used another picture of the tool where there's nothing on it because I wanted it to be clean, and it has a kind of a bluish cut on the back
Mm-hmm.
that you can see, and it I thought about the assignment that it had to be 2 pages, and it didn't. I felt it was somehow nice for the design to have different colors on the background, and I didn't mind to cover the fact that it's two different shots and three different backgrounds on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like you tell me it works for me. I don't know if it works for the rest of the world. And finally, I had to workshop the apple a bit because it didn't look so cute
Did
when I cut it and I removed some seeds and
Yep.
things.
Yeah. Did you see the link that I posted on Facebook to Kaplan's work, the still life shooter?
Wow, I don't remember.
It was just yesterday or day before. Did anybody not see that, or did anybody see it? Nobody.
I believe
Okay.
so.
Huh?
I did not.
Okay. As we get to the end, would you remind me, please? Because
Mm?
I want you all to see his work, but I want Flora to see it in particular. And I think I've got another photographer on here who will definitely benefit from it. So let's take a look at this one. Nice shot, Flora. Let's take a look at this one. This
Thanks.
is I have no idea whose this is. This is
It's Catherine.
it's Catherine.
It says Catherine down at the bottom.
Yes. She put her name on it. Yeah.
Bottom left
Yeah,
corner
that's really
in the oatmeal.
Well, it's in the oatmeal, for goodness sake. I don't have my oatmeal glasses on right now.
Yeah.
plus this giant GoToMeeting control panel so right over the top of it. So I noticed you uploaded two. Did you want us to go between them?
Oh, well,
I figured that since the Saturday critique has been kind of light lately, that I would send two, and I was expecting you to comment on the upper left corner with the table. So I put one of each.
Okay, let's jump right to. Well, that was weird. What the heck would happen there? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Take a little excursion through the back end of WordPress there. I guess I must have done some sort of swiping thing on this new system. Let's just jump right to that and say unequivocally that this one is I think, I mean, I just used the word better than this.
Yeah.
It's just flat out better. The picture is more pleasing right off the bat. It has more cohesiveness to it. And don't ever hesitate to do that. That thing up there, we always talk about corners, because corners are probably the first place your picture is going to fall apart, is in a corner. Because as we're shooting, we tend to look at the middle of the frame. And one of the things I would tell you to do is to train yourself to look at the corners of the frame first, and then look towards the middle to do your composition. Check out the corners. The corners are where something's going to go awry. And your corners are open, something going on that has nothing to do with the photograph, and then we have, of course, the oatmeal. Then when we go to the next shot, our eye doesn't even wander up there, doesn't even go to it. And yeah, very, very nice. Your light is, I'm going to guess, natural window light?
Window light.
Okay. Did you use any kind of card to lighten up this, because I'm not seeing it in the Apple if you did, to lighten up this spoon here?
I did, but it made it look really flat. So I just really, I just didn't like how it looked. So I took it out. Or I'm showing the one that didn't have the fill card.
And remember, what I want you to do next time you do something like this is it doesn't have to be a big fill card. It could be something that was 1 inch wide and 4 inches long. Right? Okay. And then it would just give you just a little bit of something along here. That being said, I love the way the spoon looks. So I'm glad you didn't
Thank you.
overachieve it, trying to make it something else, because the spoon looks great. It's an old style spoon. It's got a lot of character. I was talking to a photographer yesterday who's doing an entire portfolio on forks. Everything from the most modern styled forks to stuff he's finding at thrift stores. So one of our Project 52 summer guys, it'll be fun to see his project when he's finished with it.
Nice.
That's very nice with the apples. The color of the apples is great. Got the cinnamon down there. It's a nice composition. Breaking into this space with the spoon is great. The apple. This is one of those compositions we talked about where everything is in its place, right? We don't have a lot of overlapping, but everything's in its place at a kind of approximately the same space. You notice that? And that keeps it, there's this space, this space, this space, this space. Well, and this might is a little bit closer, but that's okay. But all of these things are keeping their space pretty much the same. And that's one of the cohesive factors that pulls it together, even though everything is in its own spot and nothing's overlapping. So well done with that.
Thank
well
you.
done. How was the oatmeal?
Are there any guidelines?
Delicious. It was actually a brown butter apple crisp. So the apples are in the oatmeal and just a little bit of barely any sugar. It was delicious.
What is the sugar you speak of?
Oh, but
I
there's no
remember.
such thing.
I remember sugar from back.
Forbidden territory for you, Don.
Yeah, from back before August.
Yeah.
I don't get it anymore. Now, what were you going to ask there, David?
It's Dave. I was going to ask, are there any guidelines for when to or how far to cut into something? She's cut off the cinnamon, the apples, the bowl. It's all cut up, so it's lovely unified that way. I just never know when okay to do that.
Oh boy, I don't. No, I'm going to actually say. I'm going to actually say no. There isn't one, because the if there was, it would be, oh, what's the word? I mean, it couldn't be. If someone was trying to tell you that there would be one, then automatically there isn't, because it just can't be. It's going to come down to the eye. I think there's some rules of thumb, and that is, if you cut one thing off, make sure you have a reason for not cutting something else off. We could have done this, for instance, with the bowls, the entire bowl, and the cinnamon and the apples going, maybe a whole bunch of apples going off into the distance. Well, if that's the case, the top row of apples are going to get cut off, and that would make sense. But when you come in like this, we tend to make a very dynamic photograph. The picture is escaping the frame, so to speak. So we know we're close. We know we're into it. When everything is inside the frame frame itself becomes more important than when we cut the frame. You see, when we're going through the apples and the bowl and everything, our attention is to the middle. And when we put a frame around it, like there's a 1/2 inch white space all the way around this thing of tablecloth, everything's in the middle. That 1/2 inch white space around it becomes a very important part of the composition itself, right? Where here it does not. Here the composition tends to go in. I think you just have to at that point, David, that's where you come into play, and you say, I like this, and you have to make your decisions that way.
Fair enough. I know I struggled with that when I was finishing mine, because I know me, I would start with everything in frame and then work my way in. But cutting things off is not something I'm comfortable doing yet. I've done it a couple of times on Project 52, but not a lot. And this looks really good. Catherine, please understand, I'm just asking the question.
Well, David, that's exactly how I started. I started shooting, and I'm like, oh, this just looks boring when I can see white space around everything. So I just brought it in a little more.
And you know what? That's a great way to shoot, Catherine, as well. One of the things that I think photographers do, especially new photographers, when we're just starting out doing still life or product, is we tend to try to get everything in the middle of the frame. We try to get it all in. And that's fine. Shoot it that way. And then move the camera in 6 inches and shoot it again. And then move it in 6 inches and shoot it again. That way you get back, looking at your Lightroom contact sheet, so to speak, you get to see how that works. And when you do it yourself, that's why I never want you to just do one picture and walk away. You're not done. Change up the lenses, move the light to the back, move it to the side, add a fill card, tighten everything up, loosen everything up. You just never really know what you can do until you do it. And that's one of the ways that you start to find your style. As I always say, style is what we see when we look back at what we've done, not what we look forward to what we do. So you start to see the pictures that you grab the most. And looking at food photographers, you're going to find everything from super formal, everything in the middle of the frame, so to speak, and there's space around it, to more informal like this. And I would say that the more you crop off, the more informal the shot looks. Does that make sense? Maybe that's a rule of thumb or just something to think about. The more we cut off, the more informal it becomes.
Thank you. Yes, he is quiet.
Someone was asking if there's a critique today. I think he's thinking that somehow the time is different. All right, wonderful. And this one is
Mike Moore.
Mike Moore. Okay, Mike. Okay, so we've got a slate background. Is that a tile
Yes.
piece?
Yep.
Yeah. Really like the way the light works against the tile. Is it slightly out of focus, or is that just me?
Boy, I think I shot this at either 4. If it's at, I think F4. So that would be
F4?
slightly
So it
out
could
of
be,
focus.
huh? Because this is
Yeah.
what lens is this?
50.
A 50? So it could be just
Mhm.
just a tad off. It looks like it's a little soft in contrast up here, which would be fine. One light, obviously, to the left side.
Yes.
And what is that light?
It's called the sun.
Sun. Okay, so
Big window light.
okay, so it's diffused though, right? It's not hard sun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shower curtain, and I blocked. I put a little black card to the left of the yellow apple.
Perfect. Perfect. I like the way the light stays fairly even across the back here. You kind of bring it down a little bit right here. The only thing that I'm wondering about is we let this last apple come very close in color to that background. And right over here might have been a good place for a little white card or a little something over here.
I agree. I noticed that too.
And we talk a lot about cards on this particular Project 52. And someone mentioned yesterday that a couple of guys were on Creative Live and they use a lot of lights. And right now would be a good time to address that. I think that using a lot of lights is a style that we certainly can look at, but I can't do Project 52 and expect you guys to have 8 lights. So we have to use cards, and that's why we do it. For us to come on here and go, well, you should have a pro photo and a pro photo and a pro photo and a pro photo and a pro photo. Then I'm only dealing with like, oh, that's right. None of you guys have 6 pro photos. So we don't have a class. We have to work with what we get to earn what we need or want. And obviously we look at photographers like Vanessa Rees, and she doesn't use strobes much at all, except maybe to bounce in the ceiling to get a little ambient. If it's a little cloudy out there in San Francisco, she needs to bring the ambient up. So everybody has different styles. Do not believe that your style has to be anybody else's, and don't believe that you always have to shoot with fill cards. If you decided you wanted to bring in 4 different speed lights, then that's what you would do. So, it's up to you. Nice shot. Shower curtain working pretty well. Still giving us a nice specular highlight on the apples. Now, I would have moved the apples. You've got the slate sitting on the table.
Yes.
I would think about this. What if you hung the slate from something so you could get the slate back behind the table so that you could get that what we're seeing the apples, and then we're seeing that space behind it, and it's so bright. It doesn't work. I mean, it's like, well, the question is, why are we seeing that space behind? Maybe these would have looked better a little closer to the edge. If we get them too close to the edge, they're going to start casting shadows on this thing, right? So
Right.
if that thing's hanging and it's back 6 or 8 inches from the edge, then you're good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that could be perfect for your to get the same look here, and then to get that horizon to drop down to right about here. A little bit of it is not a bad thing. I think we have too much of it. So watch your placement of the apples and things, front to back. Cool.
Yeah, and I even had I had a black card, it's a real thin strip,
Mm-hmm.
just right next to the tile, but it didn't block enough light out in the
Right
back.
here.
So
Right here. Yep. And you can see the effect of it right there.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you take this tile and move it away from the surface, you have more flexibility to work with how you flag that off.
Okay.
Yeah. Bigger flag is going to stretch farther across.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Saw this. This is Rasmus. I saw Rasmus's post on. Is Rasmus with us today? No. I saw this post. This just looks delicious, Rasmus. That's really nice. Now, and notice, David, we were talking about cutting things off. Notice how Rasmus very subtly kept that going. He's cut just a little bit here, just a little bit here, and the coffee cup on the right and the coffee cup on the top. So even though we have most of the plate here, he's still forcing our view back into the plate of food in this delicious apple tart looking thing here. I don't know how you lit it, Rasmus. It's obviously some back side light because of the specular here. Could be possibly window light, could be a big softbox with Rasmus. You don't know. He's good with both. So very pretty. Love the highlight here. It just makes it look so fresh and ready to eat. Somehow with breakfast food, we always kind of think of breakfast food as having this kind of pretty light coming in, and it's shiny like that. So I don't know if this is sour cream or some sort of dairy type topping, but nice because you kept the nice, it didn't go too dark here where you couldn't see it, and we didn't burn out the top either.
It's whipped cream.
Is whipped cream? Yeah.
And it still has some shape. It's not. I put some topping on mine at one point, and it just didn't look good at all.
Well, I'm just glad it's whipped cream and not mayonnaise. I think that would be wrong on very many levels. Whipped cream and sour cream and mayonnaise for that matter. Those are really hard to photograph. And in the old days, and in our 1 and 2 light days, we have to figure out how to flag it off a little bit. Maybe a little black card, just not much bigger than the sour cream, between the sour cream and the window light, so that the black card reflects in these little nooks and crannies. Because remember, this is whipped cream; it's going to have the ability to reflect light. So if we give it a little bit of black to reflect in here, that won't affect anything else on this shot, except this, because of angle of incidence, angle of reflection. Or we simply make multiple exposures and stack the layers and bring them in that way. So there's multiple ways of doing it for sure. Nice job, Rasmus. I get so hungry doing these. Oh, now we've come in very tight. Very tight. Thomas. Wow, that's very pretty.
Thank you.
Is this with your new Pro Photos?
Yeah, I have one to the left with a softbox and then a reflector to the right.
Yeah, we can see the
You
softbox
see,
right here. And what f-stop was this? What was your aperture?
I don't remember. I check it.
When you're in macro like
It's
this, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 5.6. When you're in this tight,
it's my 100 2.8.
yeah.
I will see if I wait.
When you're in this tight, it doesn't. You lose depth of field exponentially.
Yeah.
We were talking about shooting with view cameras yesterday, and how doing a very tight shot like this, when you have the normal lens on an 8x10 is a 350 millimeter lens, so right off the bat you're with a very long lens, and a 350 millimeter lens has the same depth of field whether it's on an 8x10 or on a regular on a 35. It's the lens has the depth of field. So then you crank it out to get it. You have to pull it away from the back to get it to focus this close, and you have reciprocity. So to get this much of this apple in focus with that camera would have probably been f16 to 22 to get even an inch in focus. And now the lens is 2 feet from the back of the camera, so you have the reciprocity failure of the distance of the light to the back, inverse square law in the camera, we call it reciprocity. And now you're finding out that a 2000 watt second strobe just isn't very much at all, because you need, you just need a crap load of light to light it. So how close was your?
It was 6.3.
6.3. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So I missed it by a third of a stop. Dang it.
Yeah. I forgive you.
Don, is that where you were saying you used to take your lights and go pop, 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 pop?
Yep. Multiple pops. Absolutely. It's the only way to do it. The only way to get those things to happen. So
I also used water and what you call it, a glycerin to the water drops.
What is it for the drops?
What do you call it? Glycerin?
Oh, glycerin? Okay. Yeah. Glycerin will work. Did you mix a little bit with water?
50-50.
Yep, 50-50 glycerin. That will work to give you the bubbles. The other thing you can do is you can spray the apple with like furniture polish. Over here in the States, we have like Pledge or something like that. You can do that.
Yeah.
Then water will drop up like this. The nice thing about using glycerin is the glycerin won't evaporate as fast as the water would. Water, even if you put it over a waxy surface, you'll get all the beautiful bubbles, but it's water, so it'll evaporate pretty quick. And you mix it with the glycerin itself doesn't really evaporate. It just gets into more of a gelatin mode, so it'll hold the drops better. Beautiful shot. Wouldn't it be fun to do a whole series of close-up fruit shots like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of apple is that, by the way, Thomas?
It's wait. Golden Delicious.
Oh, okay.
No. It's a Venosta, I think it's called.
Okay. I've been fascinated by all the different kinds of apples we have now. I mean, I go into the store and there's like 10 different varieties of apples. We've all, I grew up when we had red delicious apples, and oh yeah, that was it. Now we have all these other ones. Beautiful shot, nicely done,
Thank you.
nicely produced. All right, and this is a very interesting shot, very understated. Whose is this?
That was mine, Dave Price.
Ah,
Dave
very
Price.
yeah,
It's in the right
very
corner.
understated. It's the apple is like a piece of sculpture, isn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to make it a bigger hero, but it kept going across the center line, and I wanted to keep it on. You said it was a double track,
Yep.
so I was trying to keep it on the left page.
Yep. It's so perfect right in here. This beautiful. I love this highlight, by the way, David. This is really cool. It's like a piece of sculpture. Let's fix it and make it perfect. Let's get these guys, these little nicks out of here.
I can do that.
Yeah, if that's a nick there, let's take it out. So it's just absolutely perfect. And then very slight depth of field, very minimal depth of field. So actually the edge of the apple is going out of focus itself. So just the front of the apple is in focus.
Yep.
So let's isolate this part of the apple a little bit and bring your clarity up so we can really see that focus.
So do it sharper across
Yep.
the
Just-
little
yep.
bits in the front.
Yep, a little bit sharper, a little more contrast, a little bit, you know.
I was afraid to go more on the contrast because I started to lose the front of the apple. You there?
Yep.
Okay. And since I know you're going to ask me how I did it, the apple is on one slate tile. There's a second slate tile in the background, much like, who was that, Michael?
Right.
I've got a speed light in a grid above the back tile coming forward across the top of the apple, which is why you've got the specular across the top
Right.
from behind, coming
Right.
right at the base of the apple. I've got a second speed light camera left in a grid raking across the background tile,
Okay.
which is about 6 inches to a foot behind the back of the tile that the apple is actually sitting on,
Okay. Got it.
which is why it's out of focus
Now, is this
that way.
is this a hard speed light on top of this?
It's in a grid.
What's in a grid? Okay.
It's the only way I could keep the flare off the camera lens. But the top of the apple would see the light directly, if that's what you're asking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then what is
I'm
this?
sitting on a. I
What is
think
this?
I'm racked out to about 200 millimeters on the 7300.
Okay. And what is this large specular that we have in the front of the apple?
I've got, and in addition to the two tiles, I also have white reflectors forward of the apple towards the camera side, left and right, above, left, right, up, above, and below. And even still, I was getting a whole lot of black across the center of the apple.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that
If you
well,
look
those
carefully, you can actually see in this right, yeah, right there, you can actually see the gap between the cards where the camera would be. If you bring your pointer
right here.
right there, exactly.
Yeah, I can hardly see it.
Okay, well,
I can hardly see. I can see a little.
Part of it is, as you say, context, because I was there.
Uh-huh. Now I think what happens is it's a very narrow gap, right?
It is.
Yeah. So you're looking for it because you know it's there. I'm not seeing it because
Anybody
it just
else
seems
wouldn't
to have
necessarily.
just seems to be very continuous across.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, it's neat because we don't see the camera. You know, we don't have a feeling for where the camera is. That's why I was saying it's almost like a piece of art.
Yeah, the camera is a good 6 feet back, with a long lens, because I was trying to separate the apple from the background. I actually wanted it to go blurry like that. And yet I was still able to get a whole lot of texture out of that background, which I was by raking the light across of it.
Yep. Well,
Which
you're picking up all the absolute texture of it, as well as, of course, whenever you're in a grid, you're going to increase the contrast.
Yeah,
that's what grids do.
and I took a lot of shots, some with the light directly on the background, creating a bright highlight directly behind the apple or off center from the apple. I ended up choosing this one because of the raking texture idea across the background. Figured it would be good for text.
Right.
That, and I liked it.
Yep. Very good job.
Thank you.
What a bunch of great shots, guys. On a Saturday morning too. Everybody comes out on a Saturday morning and rocks it here. This is just fun. We have so many different approaches to it, from an old, almost like a Renaissance type of light, modern cooking kind of light, still life, this macro shot, Flora's taking a part of an apple type thing. I mentioned that I wanted to show you something, so let's jump over there real quick. Let's see. At a photo editor, they talked to this guy named Sam Kaplan, and I put this up on Facebook because I know I've got a lot of still life shooters, type product shooters, that would be interested in it. And Kaplan is a young photographer. It's very much conceptual, and it's very, very much what I would call minimalism. So here he's created a banana out of runts and nerds. Here's a still life of Big Red chewing gum, and these are all a day apart. So the Big Red chewing gum, if it sits out long enough, it does this. Interesting. I think either that or those are cinnamon sticks down there. I can't figure out what the hell he did. Maybe that's what he's trying to show, that the Big Red is cinnamon. It's cinnamony. Okay, cool. So I had it wrong. Those are cinnamon sticks. So he's showing the evolution. Here, if you ever want to make a still life, just go down and get 29 cents worth of dental picks.
That's wild.
Isn't that wild? Here's what $5 worth of pencils at the dollar store will get you. And if that's not cool enough, how about a bag of Pringles or a stack of Pringles?
Clever.
A platter of Pringles, or a fish, or one of my favorites. This is the CEO, #1 business person of the year from Starbucks. So these are Starbucks coffee cups with different kinds of coffee, shot from straight above, and then as just a little bit of a flare, we have one spilled over here. Now, we go back to concepts, and nothing could show you probably more than this little quick shot of things here about how amazing it is to make photographs out of things that are inanimate and don't cost a lot. You don't have to go and spend a fortune doing something. You just got to come up with a great idea. Pringles. Now when I see the Pringles, I don't want to go and shoot Pringles. I mean, I don't look at it and go, well, I'm going to go shoot Pringles now. But it makes me think instantly, what else is like that? What else is uniform like this that could make a very interesting still life? They're uniform, but they're all a little bit different. Name one, Mike.
Oh boy. Geez. I was I was thinking about something else.
Well, apples.
Apples? Sure. I was thinking of like slicing apples or slicing fruits in the middle and taking a picture of the middle
What
of
if
them.
you took 10 kiwis, cut them in half, and shot 20 kiwis?
Hmm.
They're all the same, but they're all different.
On plexiglass lit
Yeah.
from the bottom.
Yep. Yep. First thing I thought of was olives, with pimentos.
Oh,
I thought I could somehow get little sticks, toothpicks, stick them in the back of the olive, put a little piece of clay on the bottom, and do like 30 olives. Maybe maybe make them look like an olive. Um, Pencils. I mean, this is just great with the those hand um, twisted things, and how long this would take. Oh my
yeah.
goodness, just
And the
so well
chewed
done.
pencils on the far right.
Yep, dental picks. Um, you could stay within and think, what could you do if you went to the dollar store and bought $5 worth of toothbrushes. They have them 3 for $1. There'd be 15 toothbrushes, and they're all the same color. What could you do with them? So just to get your brain going. And I wanted to show this to Flora for sure, because Flora has that kind of graphic approach to things. Here's light bulbs with things with what are they called, rhinestones. He actually paid people to rhinestone a light bulb and rhinestone a Pepsi bottle so he could shoot them. And how does he shoot them? Really, really simply. So pretty fun, huh? Pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a good interview too.
Yeah, it is. Well, all of these little interviews are kind of fun. What I like about the interviews is they are the same questions. So every photographer who comes on here gets the same questions, so you can see them uh, uh, and compare the answers. Okay, you guys are the first to hear. Do y'all remember Jennifer Boomer coming on and talking with me?
Hmm.
Jennifer has agreed to do a live show with you guys. And she just finished doing a huge promo campaign and wants to share with you guys how she did it, what she did, and what the results have been. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
It's really awesome. It's really awesome. I'm going to get a hold of her and schedule it out. I'm thinking that if I can get her for next Saturday, I will. I'll do it the hour after the other group of people. So you guys would come on, you'd go off for an hour, and you'd come back. I think we have to do it on a Saturday so we get maximum involvement. I know it's not going to be great for somebody, but I think it's the best I can do for the group.
Mm-hmm.
And
It will be perfect.
I just want to say that if you have a time you like, you can keep that time. No one will force you into any other time. Shut up. There we go. Anders is going, I don't get that. Well, anyway,
to say is if we like our camera, we don't have to do
if you like your camera, you can keep your camera. No one will be forcing you into another camera. Yes, it just goes on and on. I love this, making the banana out of the runts. Is that it's just like, oh my God. So it sure gave me this. I love this kind of work, and there's another photographer who does this kind of work as well. And oh man, he just updated too. Did he do? Yes, he just updated. Check this out. A couple of shots he did for a magazine. sorry about the, I don't have much window space here, but setting this on fire, that I thought, wow, that's really well done. Because it looks to me like it's really burning. I don't know, it looks like it's burning there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably a whole lot of setup and some stand-in shoes, and then let's make the shot, and then check out the knife and fork and lock. Just beautifully done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, this is that kind of style. They wanted to show all the different kinds of candies that are out there. Good God, how long did that take? Jeez. Oh, and notice it's just one hard light, right? He does not hesitate to do a hard light. I discovered this guy through Southwest Airlines magazine, because he shoots the drinks for them. Look at this beautiful drink shot. Look how simple it is. Notice his camera angle from below to make the drink be the hero. And look at that luscious light on the leaf. See, nothing's left to chance. I really, really enjoy his work as well. His name. Well, let's find his name here for you. Oh yeah. Check this out. Cool beets with a straw in it, and down here we have a juicer. Look at this great juicer. This is where Thomas, you love these old tools. Look at this beautiful old juicer. Here. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
What is his name? Dang it. Pop it up into the... Yeah, Richard Voorhees. Sorry, Adam Voorhees. And I mentioned him before. Adam Voorhees. Love his work. Absolutely incredible. Doesn't worry about like building big set. He uses red. I mean, this is two red cards. You could go down to Flax or any art company and buy an art store and buy a couple of red poster boards and shoot on them. So anyway, folks, that's the show. I'm glad you came.
Thank you, Don.
Very much glad you came. I'm going
Thank you,
to
Don.
see you next week. There's an assignment coming up that's going to be kind of a reprieve. I should have put it up last weekend. I'm sorry, but it's not a big deal, and you guys will see it, and you'll get a little breather room here. It's time for us to pull back and give a little bit of breathing room, a little opportunity to reshoot something, share something else with us. So watch for that. It'll go up today. Thanks, folks. I will see you next week.
See you, Don.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Don.